Welcome to We Are Soccer. All right, today I've got a very special guest, University of Michigan men's head coach, Coach Chaka Daley. Coach, thank you for joining. Very much appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. Welcome to We Are Soccer.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Awesome. So listen, this year is going to be very different from last year, as we know, with the pandemic and coming out of that. You guys had a very shortened schedule. I got to imagine entering into, what is it, your 10th season here as the Michigan coach?
Yep. Time flies.
Yeah, man, it really does, doesn't it? I remember when you were appointed and reading about that, but it's hard to believe that was 10 years ago. This being your 10th season, getting back on track in the fall here, you got to be looking forward to it because I've seen the team and it looks like you've got a solid team coming back.
Yeah, no, we're definitely excited about what's to come here at Michigan Soccer. Like you said, we've still been a work in progress. Even being here almost 10 years, I think 9 years, 10 seasons. We've evolved a lot and learned a lot about the local community, the club situation, the rivalries in the Big Ten, certainly the rivalry with the local players, Michigan State, et cetera. But it's been exciting, and we continue to be more and more excited every year that we get a grasp of our program and where we're growing.
Yeah, it's let's talk about that rivalry a little bit, especially the one with you guys, the University of Michigan and Michigan State. I'm a former Spartan, as you know, and the winner of that game takes home the Big Bear Trophy. And Michigan, you guys have had the Big Bear for 5 years in a row now. I gotta hope my Spartans step up a little bit this year and get that back from you. But every time you play Michigan State, the last 5 years, it's been a very close game, 1-goal games. I think there was one game you guys won 2-0, and other than that, it's been 1-0 or 2-1. That's quite the rivalry. I know a lot of people in the state of Michigan look forward to that game. Can you talk a little bit about that rivalry with Michigan State?
Yeah, I think it's probably we didn't really do the Big Bear last year because of situation and home and away and playoffs and all that stuff. So I think potentially we've been in favor maybe the last 4 or 5 times with results in the spring season, playoffs, et cetera. But it's been something that's gone back and forth in my time here. It's maybe the best game individually in the Big Ten, every year from a rivalry standpoint. It's really exciting. The players, both sets of players are really up for it. And certainly to have another trophy, everyone always likes to win something, so to play for something is always exciting. And, we're fortunate to have it in our possession right now, but we know it'll be another tough game when we get to play Michigan State this year in October at our place.
I say that game is it's coming up October 5th at your beautiful stadium there. So one for the fans to look forward to. Before that happens, though, you've got 2 exhibition games you open up with at Bowling Green on Friday the 13th, and then at home 2 days later to University of Illinois Chicago, August 15th. So there's a lot of games between that rivalry game with Michigan State. Are you left with your normal amount of preparation time this year, or is the season getting started a little earlier? It seems to me, from my time when I was playing college soccer at Michigan State, we had, I think, 2 weeks before the first game, but this year it seems to be a little shortened, and you guys are jumping right in after 4 or 5 days and playing exhibition games.
Yeah, no, I think in college soccer, we're maybe the lucky ones. We come back off of the summer, and we only have technically 16 days before our first game, so to get your season going after 16 days is always really, really challenging. We obviously need to put in some preseason games in there. This year we have 3 because of, due to COVID, most rosters are a little bit heavier. So obviously you want to see your guys, you want to see what you have, you want to see, who can do what, who can compete in the big games, who can compete in certain moments, who can help you see games out. And who's good with the local rivalry games, because there's certain personalities required for certain games, So all these preseason games and early games help us prepare for, arguably one of the best soccer conferences in the country. When we get to play Michigan State, Ohio State as the local rivals, and then certainly the heavy hitters of Indiana, Maryland, Penn State. It's always exciting in our league. And then, outside of our conference, we get a local derby against Detroit and Oakland early on.
Yep.
And then we get to play Duke and Notre Dame from the ACC this year. And then obviously another local powerhouse in Akron. So we've pulled no punches in who we're playing. It's going to be a really tough season for our guys, but I think we've grown in a way that we're hopefully going to be competitive and ready to go.
Coach, you took the words out of my mouth. Your schedule it's an exciting schedule. Like you said, you guys open up with U of D at home, University of Detroit Mercy, and then 3 days later you go to Oakland University, and those schools are no pushovers. Those are local rivalries, as you talked about. And then just for the folks watching here, you guys bring in Duke. You bring in Notre Dame, and then Northwestern's no pushover. They're a great Big 10 team. Then you go to Indiana, which if anybody knows college soccer, Indiana, one of the best teams around. Then obviously Michigan State a couple days later, Penn State, Wisconsin, Rutgers, and then you finish up at Ohio State. That is quite the schedule. I am very impressed, and man, that is going to be a heck of a season for you guys.
It's definitely a gauntlet, not to mention Loyola Chicago, who's in the top 2 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and New Hampshire, who's won the America East the last 4 years, I believe. So we're certainly going to challenge ourselves. I don't know, how I'll do throughout the course of the year, but I think candidly, players and coaches like to play in great games.
Yep.
They want to play against great teams, and they want to compete in great games. And I think we're at a place, hopefully, if we can remain healthy, where we can be competitive in all of these games, and then see where the cards fall as we go through the season.
Yeah, very impressed with your schedule. I know the players have got to be looking forward to playing against some of those teams. Going through your roster, it looks like you've got 8 returning seniors. That's a good core of leadership coming back. So you guys should be well set up to take on those big teams as you go to some of them and have host some of them. That senior leadership, as most people know in college soccer, is very important. Can you talk a little bit about the returning players and what you're expecting from those players?
Sure. We have, I guess, what we call some super duper seniors. As a result of COVID, they've extended their undergraduate eligibility, or they've gone into grad school. And then we have some normal rising seniors. So we have a larger class than normal this year, but certainly that's led by Mark Ibarra from Ann Arbor. Local product captain, midfielder of the year in the Big Ten, has played more minutes than anyone at Michigan, I think, ever. He scores goals, gets assists, leads the way. He's an all-around top player and certainly a top student, and more impressively, a great human being. So we're fortunate to have him back. We have Joel Harrison, who's an MLS draftee from Vancouver, who'll be back as a super duper senior. We have Austin Swike from the west coast of the state, who's coming back, who's played in 40 or 50 college games. As you talk about senior leadership, he's been through everything from playing the local derbies to playing at Wake Forest in the Sweet 16. So he's got great experience. And then we have Umar Farouk Usman, who's another captain on our team, who's played in numerous games like Mark. He's probably started every game he's played in the 4 years, and he's played all 4 years. And then we have Mohamed Zaki coming back off of knee surgery. He'll be back as well. And finally, and hopefully, fingers crossed, healthy and ready to go and lead the line, or help some of our guys lead the line going through the process. And then we have some normal rising seniors like Kevin Buka from Rochester, who's an outstanding young player who we have high hopes for, and Cameron Martin, transfer from San Francisco. So we have some guys with certainly a little bit of experience and have played through numerous games and been in a lot of challenging environments. And we're definitely going to have to lean on those guys to get us through the gauntlet of a season we've set up here.
Absolutely. And it definitely helps to have those seniors and those guys who've been through it before to guide the younger group through. So You've got a team that's well set up. I have no doubt you're going to do very well this year. Let's talk about for a minute, if we could. You're actually Canadian born and raised over in Canada. Did you follow the Canadian team through the Gold Cup?
Yeah, I did. Funny enough, obviously the Women's World Cup team as well. They play tonight.
Yep.
So we have that. We actually have a student athlete here on the women's team who plays for Canada, Jade Riviera. So she's on the Canadian national team. She may start tonight actually as well. So
I did not know that. That is awesome.
So she's a rising junior. And then obviously, growing up in the Canadian system, I was born and raised in Scarborough, near Toronto, and then I moved to the States when I was a teenager, like 14 or 15, and then I ended up coming back up to the north, or the Northeast, and went to school at Providence, where I ended up being there as an undergrad, a grad student, minor league or lower level, A-League soccer player, which is equivalent to USL championship today, played in the MLS out there in New England, was an assistant coach, did my master's, and then was given the fortunate opportunity to lead my alma mater at the ripe age of 26, 27, you know what I mean? And 20 years later, I'm still cooking, so
yeah, still going at it. Absolutely.
Yeah, still going at it. So it's a fun time. It's the most exciting time of the year to kind of get going, because there's guys that surprise you, guys who don't surprise you, and then the season is new. Every season's a different one. No matter what you did the season prior, it doesn't really matter. In college soccer, everyone has the right to win the game. You have to show up and perform, and you got to be prepared. And it starts from when you leave, and obviously how we prepare going into the season. And the first game's the most important right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting into day one in the preseason, understanding where people are at fitness wise, getting them on the same tactical level that you need them to be at. It's so important in college soccer today as compared to years of past. And like you said, those games come thick and fast. And there's going to be players who show up and who really surprise you from last year. I have no doubt. Coach, we could talk all day. I absolutely love soccer, as you can tell. I am, as we talked about, a Spartan. So I'll say go green, but I will be cheering you guys on this year. I hope the gauntlet of games that you and the team have set out, I hope you win every single one of them except for that rivalry game. And you can expect to see myself out there. So good luck this season, and really looking forward to seeing you and the boys team do well this season.
I really appreciate you having us on, and obviously appreciate everything you're doing to highlight the Michigan soccer programs, youth, the players, and obviously the coaches, and certainly the programs here. I think we arguably have a most competitive area around, and it's great that you're highlighting that and looking after us in that nature. So look forward to seeing you at the game. I'm not leaving you a ticket for that one, but don't worry. I'm sure Damon can leave you a ticket.
Yep. Well, Coach, thank you again for the time, and to good luck this season.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.